We usually think of sleep as just rest, right? It's that time when our bodies and brains kind of shut down and recharge. But what if I told you that new science is showing us it's so much more than that? That every single night, your sleep is actually generating this rich, detailed story about your future health. I mean, think about it. What if hidden deep inside your brainwaves, your heart rate, all those patterns while you're sleeping, what if there was a kind of crystal ball? One that could actually warn you about something like Parkinson's or heart disease long before you'd ever feel a single symptom. So here's what we're going to dive into. First, we'll look at how your sleep really is like a health oracle. Then we'll get into the amazing AI that's learning to decode its secrets. And then, and this is the most important part, we'll talk about 3 really powerful, simple habits, things you can actually do related to your diet, your mind, and your breath that can help you take control and literally rewrite that future. See, the thing is, sleep is anything but passive. It's an incredibly active biological process. Every night, your body is just cranking out this massive stream of physiological data, signals that paint this incredibly detailed picture of your neurological health, your cardiovascular system, your metabolism, the whole shebang. And for a long time, we've actually had the tools to capture all this data. But understanding what it all means, what it's trying to predict, well, that's been like trying to read a language we just don't speak. The patterns were just too complex, too subtle for us to figure out on our own. Okay, so this is where things get really interesting. This is where artificial intelligence comes in. Researchers have developed this groundbreaking AI model they call Sleep FM, and you can just think of it like a universal translator for the language of sleep. It can take all those complicated nightly signals and turn them into clear health forecasts we can actually understand. So how does the AI learn? Well, it's fed the absolute best data we can get from a method called polysomnography, or PSG. This is the gold standard for sleep studies. It captures everything: brain waves, eye movements, heart rhythms, breathing. It is an incredibly rich data set. And we're not talking about a small sample size here. The scale of this is it's mind-blowing. Sleep FM was trained by analyzing over 585,000 hours of these super detailed sleep recordings. That's how it got so good at understanding the secret language our bodies speak when we're asleep. And what they found? Honestly, it's stunning. When they fine-tuned this model, it could predict the future risk of some really serious conditions with just astonishing accuracy years in advance. These scores you're looking at, they basically measure that accuracy. So like a 93% accuracy for Parkinson's disease, 85% for predicting the risk of dying from any cause. Our sleep is really telling us our secrets. All right, so this AI thing is an incredible early warning system. That's great. But a warning doesn't do much good if you can't do anything about it, you know? This is where the power really shifts back to us. We can use these simple, totally accessible, low-tech habits to change the story our sleep is telling. So let's start with something super fundamental: our food. It turns out that what you eat and how you eat it has a direct and really powerful connection to how well you sleep. And believe me, this is not just some theory. There was a recent study that took patients who had metabolic syndrome and really poor sleep, and they put them on a structured diet program for just 6 weeks. And the result? A huge, measurable improvement in their sleep quality. So how does that even work? Well, the healthier diet started this whole cascade of positive changes. It improved their metabolic health, lowering blood sugar, improving how their bodies used insulin. It brought down systemic inflammation, which we know is a huge sleep disruptor. And it lowered something called oxidative stress, which is basically just wear and tear on your cells. All of this just creates a much healthier internal environment that's way more friendly to deep, restorative sleep. Okay, next up, let's talk about the mind. We've all been there, right? You have a super stressful day, and then you spend the whole night tossing and turning. That is not a coincidence. It's a biological cycle. But there's a powerful tool we can use to break it: meditation. To really get this, you got to understand this little chain reaction in your body called the HPA axis. When you get stressed, your brain's hypothalamus sends out a signal. That signal goes to the pituitary gland, which then tells your adrenal glands to start pumping out cortisol. Yep, the stress hormone. And cortisol's main job is to keep you alert and fired up, which is the absolute opposite of what you need to fall asleep. This is where something like meditation comes in. It acts like a circuit breaker for that whole stress response. It just breaks the cycle. It calms down that HPA axis and shifts your body out of that high alert state. And you can literally see the effects on your body's chemistry. Studies show meditation actively lowers your cortisol levels. It's also been shown to help increase the production of melatonin, that's the sleep hormone. And it boosts activity in what's called your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your body's rest and digest mode. It just calms everything down. All right, for our last one, let's talk about something we do, like 20,000 times a day without even thinking about it? Breathing. But it turns out how you breathe, specifically whether you're breathing through your nose or your mouth, has this massive impact on your sleep and even your brain health. And when you put them side by side, the difference is it's night and day. Breathing through your nose isn't just about getting air in. It produces nitric oxide, which helps with blood flow. It stabilizes your CO2 levels so your body can use oxygen better. It flips on that calming rest and digest system. Mouth breathing, on the other hand, just bypasses all that good stuff. It's linked to a fight or flight response, to fragmented sleep, and even to things like airway collapse. Okay, so let's pull all these threads together. On one hand, you've got this emerging high-tech world where an AI can scan your sleep and give you this incredible early warning about your health. And on the other hand, we've got these ancient, simple, low-tech habits that give us the power to actually act on that warning. And that right there is the key idea. The future of our health isn't about choosing one or the other. It's about how powerfully they can work together. Technology can give us the roadmap, but it's our daily choices, what we eat, how we handle stress, how we breathe, that's what actually drives us to a better, healthier destination. So at the end of the day, every single night is an opportunity. Your body is giving you a detailed health report, full of insights, full of warnings. The real question is, are you ready to listen and respond? Because the changes you make today are what will define the story your sleep tells tomorrow.